afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Dallas end of year press conference with technical director André Zanotta, and our head coach Nico Estévez. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get right to you.
Do you want to make any opening remarks? Just to greet everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time. Just wanted to start with saying, obviously, after 2022, our expectation was to go further this season. We had another time Seattle in our way, and it was very good 3 games. We felt we could do more, but obviously with all the injuries and the players we were missing, it really affected us. But still a lot of positive from the season, a lot of good things to take, and we feel we're going in the right direction with the roster and competing again, even with so many adversities we had this season. But I feel this was a season with a lot of learning lessons for us, and obviously we want to make the necessary adjustments so we can always continue to improve, continue to go in that right direction, and come back stronger to give our fans something more than what we know they are expecting as well.
Sounds good, and we can get started here with Nathan Hill, who has his hand up first. Nathan?
Hey, I have good morning, guys. I have a question for both Coach and for Andre. Coach, for you first, just you've had some distance now to look back at the season, and it was a tough campaign with a lot of challenges. What is the most significant need you want to address in the roster going into 2024? And for Andre, just this, there was this report too that suggests your contract may be up at the end of the year. Can you confirm that?
Well, I'll start, Nathan, with your question. I think, as André said, is a lot of learning this year. It was the first year that the schedule looked like different in MLS. I think all the teams we have learned things. One of the things we've learned is the decisions that we made last year and how we strengthened the roster help us to achieve the playoff. And because, as you notice, all the teams struggle with injuries, and we were also one of them. And we felt like the roster was strong enough to help us to get into the playoff. And then the positions, I think, is something that André also will address. Is we look at the players that we have to make decisions on them, and then the areas that we have to improve. As we always said, we want to keep strengthening the roster, and it will depend on the needs in the positions that we have to do. One thing that we for sure know is we want to score more goals, and we want to be a more aggressive team on the offensive side. And it's something us as a staff, we also can help the team to be better on that side.
And for me, now my contract is up in the end of next year. I'm in constant. I have full support and a lot of strong communication and easy communication with ownership, and we've been talking about possibility of extending. So, but for now, I have a contract until the end of next year, and my focus is, as I said, to strengthen the roster and make a stronger team and make the necessary adjustments we want for 2024.
Thank you, Nathan. Tom, next.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time. This one's for Andre. Kind of going into the off season, it's a really difficult position with Velasco being injured for whatever, at least half or whatever his timeline is. How does the club kind of go about replacing him, but also, I guess, signing a player that you hope will be able to play with Allen when he's back from injury? And I guess just what are the mechanisms available? Will you guys be able to have a DP spot open if you so chose to go that route?
Yeah. Hi, Tom. Thank you for your question. It is a tricky one this season. Not only Allen, but also Giovanni will miss some part of next season already. So, and obviously our players that we count on them for the season, and we need to be smart how we bring players, because as I said, we're counting on them. We want them back as soon as possible, but respecting that is a tough injury, and it takes time for the player to be fully recovered. So I wouldn't say replace Allen, but we're discussing the possibilities of bringing new players that would complement the qualities that Allen has, and whenever he comes back, obviously we're even stronger. So yes, it's something that we are addressing, but not someone necessarily to replace him, but someone that can add things to the roster that we don't have, and hopefully Allen can join us sooner than expected so obviously when Allen is playing, we feel we're even stronger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Abraham?
Hola, profe. Hola, André. Gracias por su tiempo. André, una pregunta para ti. Al principio de la conferencia de prensa decías que sientes que van en la dirección adecuada, correcta. Si puedes expanderte un poco más, ¿a qué te refieres con eso? ¿Cuál es la dirección correcta? ¿A dónde quieres llegar con esta dirección?
Bueno, gracias, placer hablar contigo. Bueno, primero, lo que queremos es lo que todos los fans quieren. Queremos ganar títulos aquí. FC Dallas es un equipo donde yo vine, yo gané títulos trabajando en Brasil y viniendo aquí. El goal que tenemos es ganar títulos y siempre estar llegando en todas las competiciones que disputamos. Entonces, cuando digo que estamos en la dirección correcta, es en la estrategia que tenemos con la plantilla, con Nico aquí, con nosotros, su cuerpo técnico, trabajando un año más, el tercer año con Nico. Creo que siempre es importante esta estabilidad para tener y los ajustes que hacemos, no solo dentro de la cancha, pero fuera de la cancha, las cosas que tenemos que mejorar y siempre hacer un club cada vez mejor. Entonces, más en ese sentido de cada vez un FC Dallas más fuerte, un FC Dallas dentro y fuera de la cancha, con los ajustes necesarios que tenemos que hacer en la plantilla, en el cuerpo técnico, en las otras áreas del club. Entonces, todo eso veo que año a año vamos caminando, vamos avanzando, y eso al final todo lo que queremos es resultar en ganar títulos y hacer historia aquí con la afición.
André, ahora que ves a Columbus y al LAFC en la final por la Copa MLS, ¿qué tan lejos está el FC Dallas de estos dos equipos de Columbus y el LAFC? ¿Qué tan lejos están de su plantel, de su plantilla, de poder lograr llegar a la final?
Perdón, ¿para mí está?
Para ambos, ¿eh?
Bueno, yo creo que lo importante es, como André comentaba, ¿no? Tener una estabilidad, el aprender de las decisiones que se toman, de las temporadas, cómo van. A partir de ahí, yo creo que vamos en el camino correcto para estar cada vez más cerca, ¿no? Y ahí tanto el club como André, como el staff, estamos viendo cómo poder llegar cada vez más cerca de ellos, y yo creo que con las decisiones que estamos tomando, que tomamos el año pasado, que vamos a tomar este año y hacia dónde queremos ir, cada vez estaremos más cerca, ¿no?
Gracias.
Minnesota. Drew, up next.
Hey guys, good morning. Just wanted to touch base on your new signing that you guys announced today, young Romanian kid. Just curious out of both of you, what you are hoping he brings to the club, and second of all, how do you make sure he integrates well with the team, doesn't get homesick? I mean, as a 17-year-old, it's probably pretty easy to get homesick pretty quickly. So just curious what your thoughts are there.
I'll let Nico talk more on the technical side, on the what he brings to the field. But on the club side here, it's just we're all constantly looking for good opportunities in the market. Enes is a young player, 17 years old. He's turning 18 in February. And he's been recently, as we mentioned, I think in the release, named one of the top players in the Guardian, the list that they made of young players at that age. And we've saw him, we liked, and we thought it was a great opportunity to sign a young player. He's from Canada, so his family is moving. Is going to be near him, so he's amazing mentality for such a young age, and again we saw the opportunity. We felt was a good investment for us to bring a young player like this that already has significant minutes playing in first division in Romania, and now he can be here in our environment. We're gonna certainly help him. It's part of our DNA, how to help the player develop, and so not our concern. Obviously, he's very young, but with all the information that we have, with the conversation with his family, with him, we think he will adapt and very well here at the club, and will start helping us already this season with all what he brings to the field. That Nico can talk better about this.
Well, as André said, Enes was a great opportunity in the market. One of the things that André, from when I came here, he does really well is try to anticipate in the market, to detect young talents to bring here. And Enes was a great opportunity for the club and for the future. And as we always said, with the young players, and we have Bernard Camungo as a case of that. Even that they are young, and we have to be patient, and we have to help them, as you said, adapt to a new country, but not that new, because he's from Canada. He lived in Toronto for a long period also. And his family will be closer than in Europe sometimes, and I think the adaptation will be a part of something that we don't expect an issue. But on the soccer side, he plays a style of play that, and we play a style of play that he fits very well. And as the case of Bernard, his learning process and the way that he does things will dictate how much he's going to contribute to the team and how much he's going to help. Then we cannot put dates, we cannot say it is medium, long term. It's just to let him do their thing, and we'll help him to put a good platform to him to develop and be an important player for us in the present and in the future. On the technical side, he's a winger that is very vertical. He can come inside. He's good dribbler. He can combine, and has really good tools that are exciting for our team. He'll help us to make these quick attacks that we are well known in the league, and it will give us speed and threat to the opponent's backline. Also, he works hard and has a great mentality, and he wants to be the best player that he can be. And he's young. He has a lot of ambitions and energy, and we'll help him to develop as FC Dallas as a club always does with the young players.
Thanks, and one more for Andre. Your roster, you made some moves last week, and a lot of clubs tend to have several open roster spots. You really only have a couple going into next year, And on the international side, you're kind of at the top point of the international slots on your roster. Are you planning on making some more moves to open up some more international spots, or are there some guys that potentially could be getting some green cards to help open things up for you guys? Thanks.
Yes, there is the possibility of green cards. We have 3 players. There are the last phase, and we're hoping that we can get that done before the beginning of the season. But obviously, this is not in our control. We have to wait. But and what about other moves? Is now the market's starting to warm up right now, and we've had players that we wanted to move and ended up staying. Other players that we didn't want to move in the past and ended up moving them because we had good offers. So you never know, like what's going to happen. We feel good about the roster we have, the players we have. We need to make some minor adjustments to one. Tom, I'm not sure. I was thinking I didn't reply, but there is a possibility of still bringing one more DP player. So we're gonna make those changes that we feel are necessary in to make this stronger group. But at the same time, as I mentioned, I think our group is strong enough. If we manage to keep them all healthy throughout the season, I'm sure we can compete and we can face any opponent in MLS. So, but yes, we will. Let's see what happens in the market in the next month or a couple months.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Drew. Rafa, next.
Hello, Nico. Hello, André. Nico, well, you teach us in the last 2 seasons how to build a really good foundation with the team, with FC Dallas. We noticed, and we've seen an amazing games, but sometimes the team had some bad moments. Like you say, you're looking for who's scored, but we're on Christmas, and you got next to you Santa Claus. If you wish a player, which player you will bring to the roster right now for the next season? And then if with all these 2 years of experience in the MLS with the FC Dallas, it will be a new season. We will see something different from your side, from the tactical. We noticed you make a really good competition inside the group, but I don't know if FC Dallas at this moment, in order to reach that MLS Cup, need a high-level player, means, with all the respect to all the players, but high-level leadership into the pitch to put the face on it and make the right call into the pitch. And then the last one, this is for André. If I know Martin Paes, for me, is one of the best goalkeepers in the franchise in the all time. And I know he rides attention for clubs outside US. We got secure Martin Paes for the next year.
Well, I'll start, Rafa. Thanks for your questions. A lot of questions in one. I'll try to answer. Then for me as coaches, depending how the roster that we're building it gets, we'll have to analyze what are the needs, and in that moment I'll be able to make a wish. You know, if it has to be a number 9, I'll have a wish list ready. If a central midfielder, also send about wherever is the best need. But André and Leo, they work really good, and I don't have to do a lot of wish lists because the list that they present to me are already really good. Then we'll wait and see how the things are going in our side and how the roster is finalizing to make those decisions. And as a coach, and I consider a coach that wants to evolve, a coach that wants to not do the same things every year. Last year we had to adapt as a staff. We had to play in a different ways because of the injuries. We couldn't play much the 4-3-3 that we played in the first season. We have to adapt. We learned things that we liked that we can explode for next season. I'm already going next week to England to visit Aston Villa and Brighton to learn from Unai Emery and the Thervy new ways and new things that they do, and bring those ideas to the club, to the team, and to the staff, and see how we can surprise our opponents and how we can always have a next version of FC Dallas. And I'm very excited about what we can do next year with all the things that we're trying to build. And that's it. I think this will help us, what we've learned, strengthening the roster and adding new ways to play to reach a better position that we had last year and go farther as possible in any other competition that we play.
And regarding to Martin, we bought him in the summer last year. Martin has, if I'm not wrong, at least 4 more years of contract here with us. I agree with you. Martin is exceptional goalkeeper. He's an amazing person, and we're counting on him for many years to come. Not only next season, but more. And he deserves all the. I wish he would be considered more as one of the best goalkeepers in the league, because I don't see any other. I think that they gave to forgot the St. Louis goalkeeper that did really well, but Martin for me is not behind any other goalkeeper. But anyway, yes, we count on him next season and more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafa. And Buzz, thanks.
Hi guys, for either one of you that feel like you can answer this question, any concerns about Alan going to Argentina for his surgery and then going on television and saying he has to be loaned back to Independiente's club? And have you considered using the season-ending IR on him for next year, since you're going to miss him for 95% of the season? No concerns about this. This actually is something that happened, but was not like, I think Alan, the way he said was just I don't know, just a little bit more that he's there and he's closer to the guys. But obviously, when at some point his agent contacted me last season and earlier this season saying the Independiente was struggling, but was more not in a serious way. At least what I understood when I recall from my conversation with him was just like Independiente wanted Alan back on loan just to help to save the season that they were having. But honestly, it was not something it was a phone call that lasted 3 minutes maybe. So I never spoke with Alan about this. After that was just a conversation, me and his agent, and was more we joked about it. Then obviously we would never let Alan go back there on loan on a situation. We're not willing to let Alan go. And I'm not sure about what you said about 95% of missing next season. We really believe he has. He's progressing really well so far. Obviously, very early after his injury, after his surgery. And we've seen players coming back sooner than expected, and we're hoping Alan can help us in at least a good part of the season. So for now, our idea is not to. We still have time to make that decision, but our idea is not to place Alan in the season-ending injury list. And because we firmly believe, and obviously every month, every week, we're getting information, we're knowing how he's progressing, and we'll know more closer to the beginning of the season where we are with him. But the idea is not to place him, and the idea is to have him playing with us later in the season. Obviously, we hope that the earlier possible.
when you did your end of season moves, most of them seem self-explanatory, but the press release mentioned that you were still talking to Rian Maurer and Corsa. Could you give us an update on those players?
So we for all three of them we had options. We did not exercise the option, and we're we need to make some help our salary cap in some ways, and also the limited number of senior roster spots we have. So we're talking with the players, with their agents, and seeing what's possible or not to do. But it's still not clear at this point for any of them what the decision will be. But we know they're making an effort. We will make our effort to see if we can bring them back. But at this point, I cannot guarantee anything. But just that we're still talking with them, and let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Buzz. We have time for one more, Nathan, if you want to have a follow-up question.
Sure. I'm blurry all of a sudden, but appreciate this, Coach. Coach, for both of you, there's been some conversation about with just the congested schedule in Major League Soccer that MLS needs to provide more roster spots, more salary cap, higher salary cap, just for teams to weather the wear and tear of the season. Can you speak to that? Is that something that you agree with? I mean, I just saw Philadelphia Union's GM was talking about that as well today. So do you feel like if you could do more with the roster and manage injuries better if you had a little more room to work with?
Yeah, as a coach, yes, if we compare this league and other leagues around the world, and this is probably what the Philadelphia Union GM and coach felt also today in their press conference is the same. You know, as much senior roster spots you have, the more strong roster you can have, and if it's a schedule that is getting tight, more games, you will have to adapt these things, and I'm for it for sure, because the ones that suffer the injuries are the coaches, and because they have to be creative, and when you have a very short amount of players, and I think it will help to have better quality games when injuries come, and also to take care of the health of the players.
Yeah, what I can add to Nico is obviously with more roster spots, it gives you more flexibility and more options, and you don't, especially in a league like MLS, when you lose some key players for long-term injuries, it really affects you and create issues for the season. But I'll be tomorrow. I'm flying to Phoenix, and we'll have league meetings until Thursday. All the sporting directors, GMs, CSOs are going to be there, and many discussions about league changes. So we know MLS is constantly trying to improve and constantly trying to adjust the rules, but being reasonable and with the spendings and everything else. So. Let's see. I think it's important. They hear us. It's important that we have those kind of meetings, that we stay together, all the CSOs, and we can discuss. We usually have all the same problems. We fight for. We're all fighting for a better league. So, but MLS is aware. I know owners are aware of the changes, the constant changes that the league are making to improve and make it more attractive for everyone.
Sounds good. Okay, Buzz, we got one last question from Buzz.
Well, I actually have hundreds of questions, but I'll stick with one. Any consideration of using the buyout on Jesus Jimenez to clear his large salary after cap?
Well, this is something we'll discuss. Jesus has one more year, guaranteed year contract with us. We used this year, yes, on Franco Jara, and not Jesus Jimenez or any other player. If we feel we need to use the buyout option for any player, that's part of the league rules, and that's something we can do. So there's nothing right now under conversation that we would make that for any player. But if it's a possibility that can happen, that the league allows us, and if we feel we need to buy out any player to open space to bring someone that we feel is going to improve the roster, we'll do it.
Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, Andre. And thank you, Nico. That concludes this press conference here from Frisco, Texas. If you guys need any recording of this conversation, please send me an email and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. Once again, thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.